okay? But downtowns have become entertainment centers. And that doesn't mean just bars and restaurants.
No, it doesn't.
It means unique, different kind of stores, entertainment stores, places that sell candles,
Oh, yeah.
places that sell art, places that sell all kinds of unique things. That's part of what downtowns have become. They're not shoe store places. We don't have shoe stores. We don't have clothing stores. I remember used to shop at Bergman's all the time.
My
play
dad-
menswear.
Nissan shoes.
And Nissan Shoes and Eddie Colzars, but they're gone. And the look and the development, the other thing is the development of downtowns from a retail, from a business standpoint, that is other than trying to create an environment that is conducive to commerce. It's not the city's job to try to find shoe store owners to buy it, to open up a shoe store or clothing store owner or whatever. You create the environment that's conducive for commerce, and we're unique and blessed because we happen to have a Great Lake on our doorstep.
So my question to the group, maybe show of hands, who thinks it is a good idea, at least to a small part, that part of the city's job is to come up with things like the mural park where Kelly's art is displayed, public art in general? Who would be in favor of that?
Partnerships.
Just a show of hands maybe first. And I know Mr. Jesse's already standing, but, okay. Does anybody think that that's an unwise use of resources?
I don't,
Depends how much resource you're talking about.
Yeah, sure.
you reach out to your community and you try to find the people that are willing to put a little bit more time and effort, because I don't think the city has to necessarily say, you have to do it this way. But like I said before,
No, I think
you guys,
what I'm thinking of is more what Mr. Schaffner said, is just creating an environment and letting people.
yeah, what I'm saying is you guys can be here to make the process easier. Give people the freedoms. If something's going on there, hear them out. And if it's conflicting with something, how about we have another meeting and say, hey, these people are doing this, it's really unique, but it's messing with this ordinance or whatever the case is. Can we come out with ways to make the process easier and give the people more of an opportunity? Because there is always going to be those people that want to try to stop you for no other reason, just to be like, whatever it is, whatever we're trying to get past. So helping the process, I would say, would be more of the responsibility, in my opinion.
Ms. Cup,
There are smaller things that the city could do that could be art related, like a bench, which isn't a typical art piece. It could be a bike rack, anything like that. I mean, art has no boundaries, which is great, but a lot of times right now, because I was on the design committee for Main Street, and there were a lot of little rules that you have, like everything should match and all this stuff. But if we move forward with that, I mean, why not have a walleye bike rack where people will be like, this is so fun, oh my gosh, I want to park my bike here. You know, art is unlimited. I mean, I love Matt's stuff, Kelly's stuff, my stuff too, but it's endless. It really is.
yes ma'am.
My name is Betsy, and I came back in 2005 after I left, when I couldn't find work. I came back to take care of my older parents, and I own a house, their house here in town. So, unlike her, I left and been over in different areas. I have three questions for you. One, kids, where would you like to work in about 5 years from now? What kind of job would you like? Where would you like, how would you like your community to look? You tell us.
Come on, guys, high-paying jobs, right?
What kind
High-paying
of jobs would you like? Would you like condos? Would you like little stores?
They would probably.
We can build on whatever you guys want. But we have to have a starting point. Number two, let's start with the art project. And I don't remember what city I was in. I have no idea, I can't remember. But what they did within downtown, like at Christmas time, the stores that were vacant or utilized, each store told a story. And you had to go to one store to the next store to get the rest of the stories. And you can do that.
That sounds like a great Main Street, Fort Clinton type project.
Right. And when I was working on a litigation case in downtown St. Paul. In St. Paul, what you do is, and I know that's not probably conducive here, but what I'm telling you is maybe we can build on it, or maybe somebody comes up with something different. All the stores were connected. I could go from this store to this store without going outside if I wanted to shop to the store side of it. There was a walkway around above the street. And it goes down.
You're hitting it right on the head. I went around to the pole, we went to Slater's and talked to the people that worked in Slater's, which was Herbs before that. And before that, it was something else. I looked up in the corner and that was after, right, after Herbs. But
Before, no, it was after.
Doesn't matter.
It was after Herbs. But before Herbs, or during Herbs, up in the corner is this shelf. And I said, what is that shelf? Well, back in the day, they had a midget playing piano on that shelf. And so, I mean, you know, those a dwarf, okay, a short person, without that shelf. We'd always bring the shelf down and have it a full-size person. But you know, we have so much history here. There's a bomb shelter in the back of Green's drugstore, or Duke's Printing, which is closed now, and you can see the sign that says, "Go down in case of a bomb." How many people would love to? You heard about hiding under desks? They'd love to come into something like
At
that.
Christmas time, you can have each story, and
Yeah.
at different times of the year, you can have a story. But they have to go to the next window in
Yeah.
order to get rest of the story.
I think that's beautiful.
I got something to
If
say
you
in
cannot
regards to
connect
that.
it, they will leave.
Okay.
Ms. Cutton and Ms. Borman, I think, had
One of the
another-
things that Main Street does
Move on.
is they have, like, there's a lot of these ideas that people are having. There's people in town that are doing some of them right now. Which, who on us that more things aren't broadcast to try to get more people to come in? But that dude over there, don't know who you are, but the togetherness, let's all get together and do
I'll be
it.
there, man. Give me your information.
That's what I'm saying. Like Main Street does a lot of this stuff, and it is hard to sit here and listen. We should do that. We should do that, and then to hear that and be like, "Well, we did that last year, and we're doing it this year, and nobody knows about
Hey,
it."
and nobody's perfect. That's what I'm saying. Let's
But
catch the
I
train.
and as a person that attends a lot of these meetings, it is so nice to see people my age here. I love everybody that's not my age, but but the thing, yeah, especially you. But there are things that Main Street does that is specific to downtown. This is not the first year for it, but not a lot of people last year participated in the window decorating contest.
Yeah, but
We-
you can't connect it. You have to connect those window decorations in order to get me to stay down.
But you
That's an idea.
But the thing is we're creating there's incentive. There's more incentive. You win a prize, and there's also the incentive of you are taking pride in your shop and making it look beautiful and participating in the festivities, and it's part of the community. It wouldn't necessarily have to. It would be nice to tell a story, but one thing at a time. I want you to decorate your window, and then maybe in a couple years we can coordinate it to where it tells a story and everybody can walk around.
Well, I knew you guys had done parts of it. I was just trying to tell you.
No, I'm not saying
Yeah,
why are
I'm
you saying
later
that.
on-
It's-
Later on, you can tell those stories, but we have to do stuff. We cannot no longer wait until next year to do something, or the year after that. You
I
know,
think
I've
that's
been waiting
something that
for 25
everybody
years for
agrees
something
with
for
you
this
on.
city to do-
All right,
Yeah.
do something,
okay.
so.
Mr. Shafter, and then we'll move on. Go ahead.
This is a meeting of the committee of city council. And it's not city council or the city's responsibility to do promotions in downtown Port Clinton. But we have Main Street Port Clinton that does that.
Volunteer.
We have a Chamber of
Over
Commerce
here, sign
that
up.
does those kind of things. So let's stick to the topic of the city and what the city can do. And, you know, we it started about talking about arts. Port Clinton, one of the issues that I see is that it doesn't really have a brand. We're on the lake, we have potential coming out our ears, but this idea of an arts community and promoting the arts and making arts in all its forms and shapes part of the brand and the identity of what Port Clinton is, what a great idea. You know, a couple of years ago, we had that Ohio State performing arts groups all over the city of Port Clinton for like a week. What a tremendous thing that was. You remember that? You remember that, Phoebe?
Yeah, whatever happened to that?
I don't know. Bo Leffler was doing it and he went away.
He must have gotten worn out.
So we'll turn it over to, thank you for everyone's comments on the public art topic. We'll turn it over to any open topics for the remainder of the time that we have. It's 7:58 right now, I'm not sure how long we'll go. If it's a robust discussion, we'll go for a little bit. Any open topics? Mrs. Morgan, in the back.
Actually, this is probably more of a county affair than a city affair, but I'm gonna bring it up anyway. Is there any way to link Port Clinton to the Ohio Rails to Trails?
Oh,
That would be so.
Right now, you have
Yeah.
to go to Fremont or Elmore to board it.
They're working on one.
It'd be great if we could, I mean, I know that it would be the county thing, but, it would be so super if we could get on it from Port Clinton. Or we could fly it to.
I'm not familiar with the program, but I'll look at it.
I believe ODNR is working on one at Danbury.
What?
ODNR is working on one at Danbury.
Mr. Rich, open topic.
And I hate to go back to the arts thing, but I think it's important, and not to say, the city's gonna say, we're gonna locate it all downtown. We want downtown to be full capacity, so everything else costs more in other areas. And if you have art, let's say along the lake, and or the wetlands, you know, as the path goes, there's some art, you're looking at it, next thing you know, there's an eagle in the tree. We were one of the biggest birding communities in the country. You go out on Mother's Day, out, you know, watch the neon birds out at Crane Creek, you build off that, we got more eagle nests than anywhere. All we'd have to do is publicize, here's where all the nests are. And a lot of people have never seen an eagle. So if you're looking at a piece of art and there's an eagle, I'm buying a room with the balcony out back to watch eagles fly over, just like I watch the big planes fly over in Cleveland. And our airport's doing fantastic. You know, we got that out there with the old planes and, you know, new jets coming in. But folks, we got to attract dollars. Poor people don't hire anybody. So we don't want to chase away people that have money. We want them to live here. Because people that have money might start a little office under their condominium. I said, I want one condominium, $1 billion one. Because they're going to have something underneath that's going to hire my daughter, and pay her $20 an hour to answer the phone, then have a little coffee shop underneath or a little bar underneath. So it all works together. If we all work together, it all works together. There's plenty of room for everybody's ideas, and if it works for you, it works for you, it works for you, it works for everybody. The birds are flying by here anyways. And I don't think people realize, you know, how big the bird thing is, and it goes hand in hand with the art, because it's the atmosphere and what you can see. You can see the memorial at Put-in Bay. You know, I mean, it's just fantastic.
In regards to the biggest week in American birding is the largest birding festival in North America. And that 10-day festival, $28 million is brought into Ottawa County's economy. It's huge.
Sorry, go ahead.
So we don't have a bird festival.
We should.
What's that?
I'd like to go back to.
Exactly. There
We should.
should be
I'd
something
like,
during that week
not
downtown
a
to
bad
attract
idea.
them to downtown.
I'd like to go back to what Patsy said, because her first question was, I think now we're on the general topic of development or whatever.
Yep.
And it's an open topic, and I'd like to go and hear from these young people sitting over here.
but they're glad they
Because the future
came
belongs
with
to
me.
them. The future belongs is-
Pick out the guy with the biggest muscles. He's got to talk to.
Well,
Do
just-
you guys have to be here
just-
for a class? Is it fulfilling a requirement? Okay. Could I ask if you just say a few words since you are here and we'll sign your papers and you'll get an A? Well, let's start down here. Pass.
Hey, you're all right. Hey, we want to hear you guys, man. Don't be shy. We want to hear what you say. We're very interested.
What would you like to see in Port Clinton?
I think the town looks nice. It is.
Be honest.
Change made, but I think it's going to be a beautiful place. We do.
Next.
Yeah, but after college, you're gonna be gone, and you won't come back.
Hold on, let's let him answer. They're brave enough to speak up, so.
Yeah,
Next.
yeah.
I have an example of my
Let her go, let her go.
Hold
Hear
on,
you.
go ahead, next.
I guess more development, like the stores, that's what you're saying and everything like that. I really agree with what you said.
Yeah, that's what we want.
Next, please.
What's the question?
What would you
What
like
would
to see
you like
happen
to
here? John, I got this. What would you like to see happen here?
Yeah, everything he said, all his ideas are good.
Can I
Thank
ask
you.
you kids a
Thank you.
question? Do you guys like listening to music? You guys are all really into music. That's like the big thing now, music. How would you guys like to see a music festival come here?
Exactly.
How many people would like to see
How
a
about,
music
how about,
festival come
how about
here?
camping in Waterworks Park for a 2-day music festival? I mean, I don't wanna bring a whole lot of it. Please come back December 1st, and if you can give me some time, I have a lot of ways that you guys, I mean, you guys are what we're trying to reach, man. We want you guys to say, if you come out and you guys are willing to talk, we are all willing to
And I
listen,
think it's
man.
so important for you guys to get involved because
Yes.
my class, my generation, we didn't do this crap. It was what everybody else wanted. You followed what the older people said, and that's how it was done. Younger people really didn't have a say. The time is changing.
Yes.
We are the new generation. We respect the older generation and everything that they have done for us. But it's time to bring a new generation in. We have new ideas. We have fresh ideas. You guys probably look at me and think I'm crazy. I'm not crazy.
Yep.
I'm just enthusiastic.
Yep.
We all
You're not
need to
crazy.
get together,
Yes, we
work together, and create this environment that everybody is going to want to come here. It's not that hard. Electric Forest in Michigan. I don't know how many people of you guys know what Electric Forest is. Anybody?
lighting trees.
Yes.
It's
It's a small town in Michigan, and they are only open for 1 weekend a year. And what do they bring in, Dave?
They're open 4 days a year, and they're bringing in the biggest names for whatever. It's primitive camping, it's music, it's 4-day festival. They sell out within 24 hours, and it's 40,000 tickets that cost $300 or better to start out with. And you don't think it can happen in Port Clinton, but with the help of you guys, and then with the help of all you guys, starting from the bottom, getting some things going on here, we can have the same type of stuff. We can create the same environment, and it's exactly what you guys are looking for, man. Don't give into that. Also, we have to go to work. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your life. We get into this thing where we're like, we get 30 years old or 40 years old. It starts being like, work, get up, go to work, come back home, sleep, eat. We don't spend time having fun, and that's what we should bring here and around this area. And we should all stand up and say, we are all about vacation land. We are about having fun. Come to our place. We'll show you a different way of life because we think different. We got 1 foot firmly in the future, but we got 1 foot rooted here in the past and the traditions and with the respect of the community. Like you said, you're looking for a brand. And I looked as trademark, but I had this thing going on in my head. It was called REP. Like rep your city, but it was REPP. It was respect, equality, peace, and prosperity. You can put that on shirts. You can hang your hat on it in Port Clinton, and you can say, I rep my city. I rep Port Clinton because I respect everybody. It's equal. We're peaceful. We're prosperous because we work together. Simple things like that. And there's a million places. So sorry.
Don't give
Go
up
ahead.
the ship.
Did
I get long winded.
Hold on. Either of you have any other ideas?
I like it.
Go ahead.
Well, like, I'm going to another field, so I don't know where I'm gonna be at, but like, if I ever brought my kids back, I would want to show them like what we developed like as our generation.
To look back
Yeah.
in years to come. How about over here? We didn't forget about you.
You wanna go first? Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
I like walking around town when there's like when we were in middle school in art class, we used to, for the fall, we used to paint like pumpkins and stuff on them.
You have the Halloween drawings on the windows and
Yeah,
stuff for
and, like,
Halloween
I
and
would
stuff?
always see people
Yeah,
walking
I remember
around
doing that when I
looking
was a kid. I mean, that was awesome.
How about you?
I'm looking for more things to do in Portland. Like at my age, there's nothing really to do.
There is.
There's more activities. I would go out in town more often. What kind of activities?
What kind,
Would you like to see? Like you said, like the first week off, like if there was other stuff like that, or like contests or something.
Yes.
Just stuff to get outside.
Music to get people together
Yeah,
and just
music too.
in the park somewhere.
Go ahead.
Over the summer I worked at Docks, and when there was like music playing, a lot more people would come.
Oh, yeah.
They do.
Yeah. Mrs. Rodoni, go ahead.
Is there a way to get music pumped in downtown so it gives that, I don't know, a little bit of excitement
Yeah, there
on the
is,
sidewalks?
actually.
Over the top.
We do
man.
have
Let's see what's
taps at
happening.
9 o'clock.
Well, I
We
mean.
love that.
That's
This
in
is
the
it, in the
Madison,
back.
that's
I know.
in the Madison Street project plans.
The light
Yeah.
posts
Cool.
that the Main Street are selling have the electrical in them, and it comes with like
It'll
a
be set up for it.
speaker thing, and it'll go through all of them. And that's part of the plan right now.
Hey, can I get with you guys afterwards? Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
sign it up.
Any other open topics? This is, yeah, before.
Lana, since we're talking about ideas, one suggestion for this city that I've thought about often, the city of Chicago does it, Cleveland does it, I've seen small towns do it. What about during the summer, and this is something for the locals, I mean, they can bring in tourists, but having like a movie in the park. Like Cleveland does WOW, it's called WOW, and it's Wait Oval Wednesdays. And it's located near Case, and every Wednesday during the summer, you know you can go there and watch a band. They have live music in the park. It's free. They allow people to bring bottles of wine. They don't sell alcohol there, but you're allowed to, for that one time in the park, you can bring, you know, a bottle of wine. They have food vendors there, or you can even go, you know, there's places like in Little Italy will give discounts. If you get a pizza, you know, you'll get $2 off if you're going to, you know, Wait Oval Wednesday or whatever. But everyone gathers, and it's amazing to see all life forms, all families, you know, children, adults, and they all go. It's one night, and then to even top it off, on top of the bands, then like once a month or once every other week, they'll have a movie then after the band. So then when it gets dark, then you watch a movie in the park. They're always kid-friendly movies, but they're really good, and it's amazing, and it brings good energy. I don't know. I wish we did that.
Yes.
Monami would be a great location, but also downtown. I thought of Monami because I'm like, why don't they do that here for us? But downtown, in one of the parks, even Waterworks Park, or
That's
Right.
been done, they tried that
My
before,
hands
we did.
but not a lot of people
did that
came, and it's
twice.
really
Hey,
expensive.
Yes.
hey, let's do it again. I promise
We
I'll get
did,
people
let
to
me,
come out.
let me
Let's do it
explain to
again.
you the process with that. We had to apply, Main Street received a grant, but we had to apply to the licensing industry. We paid $1,200 for one movie, to show one movie. Gerner, Wolf, and Walker brought down their popcorn machine. It was very low attendance, extremely low.
But if more people knew about it,
Yeah, and we did. We had posters and windows. We did everything. We applied for a grant to do 2 movies. One was Happy Feet, and I forget what the other one was.
But people still do want to do that. You guys made the first step. It wasn't
If
successful.
we could
but
get
if-
money to do it, it'd be
Yes.
great.
Food truck, you
Yes,
know, have
food
a
trucks
food
and
truck
everything
sit
like
there.
that.
People will come just
Yes,
for
they
food.
will.
Get more things.
Mr. Freeman, go ahead.
Just all for the movie thing, because Sandusky does it just about every weekend in the summer. They do the movie screens. Why not trying to get in touch with someone over there and seeing if, since they're already paying the licensing, if we can split it with them?
Yeah.
and
Working together.
Bring it back and forth.
that's a good idea.
Working together.
That could happen.
We can't
No, no,
split.
that's exactly what we
Joel,
should do.
I understand what you're saying, but they won't let you split that contract. It's a legal issue to show it within an entity. Believe me, we tried every way around it because that was an expense that we did not want to spend.
Yeah.
That was not in our budget and was not in our strategic plan, but we wanted to do it for the community.
But there's other ways around it. I mean,
if you're gonna.
I'm sure we could figure out something. I invite all of you to come to a Main Street meeting, seriously.
Imagine how much money it's gonna make.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I think there's a lot
You
of
wanna
good
sell your
ideas.
food?
Somebody-
Go ahead.
There's a lot of good ideas here, and I do believe that what may have failed at one point may not fail the next time,
Exactly.
and it might be worth a try if we try, just to research it. But you guys are only 3 people.
Yep.
So can we have subcommittees for these ideas and then report back to you in 2 weeks or whatever, or 3 weeks?
You are looking for funds.
No, we're on Main Street.
I mean,
Again, I
We are
have
a
to
subcommittee.
put forth, city
We are a
council and the
subcommittee.
city of Port Clinton is to provide law enforcement and put out fires and keep the streets going. It is not a promotional
Yes.
But that's what she was asking,
But there
how to
are
do it.
organizations that do that.
And
Can we
that-
create
okay, and that's
subcommittees
good.
through
The Main
Main
Street-
Street and the Chamber?
but
You
Main
bet.
Street is not gonna do the Frisbee Park.
We
So-
could.
No, that is.
So that's okay. That's
So
all
I
I
think
that,
the
that,
city
that
has
was
a-
my point.
The
How
city
do
can
we-
have a role,
how
and I
do
think
we-
that's what this committee's.
That's my point. I don't wanna walk
Yeah.
away from this meeting and then nothing happens.
Yeah, me
That's a
too.
waste of
Ma'am, I
meeting.
would love to do,
So-
get with everybody, maybe we come up with either quarterly, or we come up with monthly, we just do a little think tank for anybody that's involved, that has ideas, we will listen to everybody. I'll show up, I can't guarantee I'm gonna show up every time, But I promise I will try to make the effort. All we gotta do is come together and put our heads together. It's not these guys' job to promote the business or do the stuff with the business. It's somebody like me's job to come and motivate you guys to get out and do this stuff. I promise you, we can definitely do it, and I'm more than willing. And we'll set it up and I'll advertise it the way we need to, and we'll get support.
Mr. Ragoda.
There's a group that has been formed in Port Clinton called 40 Under 40.
Okay.
And that's
It's the Ottawa County Young Professionals, correct?
Ottawa County Young Professionals.
Yep.
Could the city of Port Clinton work together and maybe make several kiosks somewhere in town that could host a lot of these events? I know there's guides and there's books and there's newspapers and there's online, but sometimes our tourists and our locals don't get on the internet all the time. We've discovered that. Is there a place, a local area of several spots that you could have a weekly bulletin? Hey, this is what's going on in the summer. This place, this place, this place, at this park.
I think Main Street was developing a kiosk. That was a project. Is that right, Roseanne?
Yes, it is
Great
right.
idea.
Is that just one kiosk or is that?
Oh, yeah, it's
So-
really expensive, but we
Okay,
have
so-
all the plans there for one, and we did a lot of research. I didn't, but we had 2 committee members that did a ton of research into those. They have them in the city of Findlay.
Yeah.
So, we have everything there. Again, it is a funding issue.
Okay.
So if we could, you know,
Fundraising, we gotta do some
Yeah.
fundraising.
Fundraising,
Private
get together,
sector
man, together,
fundraising.
community stuff. We'll do it.
yep,
Can
This is already a fact.
Can businesses sponsor those kiosks for a month at a time? You
after
put
you
your
buy
name
a street lamp,
plastered on it?
after you buy a street
After you
lamp,
buy the street
yeah.
lamp?
We need to sell those first.
And that's the thing, you gotta include so many more people that only may have $10 or $20. If you have 10 people that have $10, or, you know, 100 people that have $5 and participate and love to frisbee golf, I mean, that's eminent domain standard products. Imagine what you could do there. You know, so we've got property, there's a field next to my house that's up for sale a couple of times. You know, so we have all these areas, and, you know, they would all be hooked together, and the kiosk idea is great, because you'd be at Standard Products, looking at the same kiosk as the one downtown. I'm walking down there, I'm walking over here, I'm going on, at one time we had the trolley, I'm gonna ride the trolley back and forth like at Fort Myers Beach, but it's too crowded now, so we're in Inglewood picking up shark's teeth, you know, but it can all be interconnected. We've got to do private sector, wide-based, low cost, and of course you're going to have your big players, but they're going to have their names on the top, and all the little ones are probably going to be, you know, at a smaller donation level, just like Trick or Treat downtown, you know, which is fantastic, is fantastic. You talk to the business owners, this is my last day I'm open. You know, and you find out like, oh, that's a shame. I didn't know what you're selling.
Mr. Rich, it's 8:15, so I'd like to, I think it's reasonable to wrap up at, say, 8:30. So for the next 15 minutes, I guess, if there's no other open topics, I would like to,
Can I just say one
go ahead.
Okay, these are all great ideas. We do have event forms. You can apply to do this stuff.
Yes.
You get your event form, you have to prove you have insurance and stuff like that.
Yes.
I mean, if anyone wants to head it up, you want to get sponsors, that would be great.
I'm not perfect, I don't know everything. I will rely on people like you and everybody else in this room to make up for my deficiencies. I can run my mouth and I can really be motivated and I can get out there and get the word and get people going. That's kind of
Well, Mr. Jensen,
whatever, but I need you guys.
I think you've seen a lot of people that would be happy to work with you tonight, so I appreciate you coming. And the next topic, let's spend 15 minutes, and I guess my question would be, the city was recently awarded a planning grant from the Ohio Department of Natural Resources to develop a boardwalk and transient dockage plan along Waterworks Park, the riverfront. So I'd like to just hear any comments, suggestions, ideas, do's, don'ts.
What's this for?
The $20,000 planning grant with a $20,000 match from the Ohio Department of Natural Resources to develop a boardwalk riverwalk with transient dockage from the start of the jetty down to basically where the blue canopy is now.
How is that going to change
That'd be great.
anything that's currently going on in Port Clinton if you don't get the mindset in Port Clinton to make it work? Then
Understood.
you're just wasting your dollars.
Understood. Go ahead, come back, sir. I don't think we've heard.
Hi,
Go ahead.
my name's Mark Waltz. I was born and raised here, moved away, and came back recently. Regarding the boardwalk opportunities that are there, I presented to the last mayor a plan to take as an alternative to what was the Washington group that was trying to go across the Waterworks Park area over toward the Derby Pond, take it.
You presented to Mayor Leon, you're saying?
Yes, I did.
Okay, got it.
And I'd like to present it again to you, if at all possible, or to the right groups. And I've talked to the Corps of Engineers as well. And there's a lot of opportunity, instead of taking and putting the boardwalk, or making it more of a boardwalk, going out the east pier, widen the east pier, put a dog leg out on it so that there's protection on the outside edge. Put behind that then transient docks as well as dockage for jet skis. On that boardwalk then you would have city-owned, because it's all city property, managed by city and helped by the county, that there would be leases for the buildings on that piece of property that's out there. It's a 4 to 6 month lease, because that's our time frame here. The idea is to break even on it so that we can have new monies coming in to this area that would support the local bill. We need fresh. It's great that the locals want to do something. I'm a local, I understand that. But my money's just kind of churned here. We need the influx of new monies. When people would come here, instead of electing and wanting to spend an hour or two traveling across the way to Put-in Bay, if they can spend that time here spending their money in Port Clinton, and at the same time as if they're going to be doing the Madison Street improvements, put in the lay there of rail, which might sound weird, but if you go way back, there was rail here in town. Take that rail down Madison Street, along Perry Street, out to the pier. It runs routinely, so that you have then the infiltration from the transients into the city, spend the monies in the city. I'd like to talk to somebody in depth about that. There's improvements coming up with the Corps of Engineers. If they're going to do it, let's make sure that what they are doing, although we appreciate them working on it, lay the foundation for the pier expansion.
Absolutely. That was in the Stonehenge proposal. I thought it was beautiful.
Stonehenge tried it, and it was turned down.
I know.
This is a little bit of
Same vision, though.
it's a different vision, but the people that are at Waterworks Park are concerned about Waterworks Park. It would be improved from the standpoint of cleaned up, left, I don't want to say as it is, because I want to improve it, but let it for baseball, let it for the carnivals, have the boardwalk there routinely, do the skateboarding, do the frisbee golf, those types of things, absolutely. But we need a venue here to bring people new money in, not just recycling. Or there's not enough money here to do that. We need to we need to bring in the new monies.
Right.
I'd be glad to talk to you about it afterwards.
Sure, you can talk to all of us. Thanks for coming.
I got a question
Yes,
for
sir.
you. Did you consider putting restrooms down there with showers and stuff like that for the transit?
Yes, that's the short answer.
Okay.
The issue is that we have a derby pond there, and we're always here worried about the 6 months out of the summer, right? But as kids, we skated at the derby pond. So up there would be a small house, basically, or rooms that would be one for the summer, you would have showers. For the winter, you would have a heated room that would be toward the flooded and frozen derby pond for ice skating at night with lights. So that you have a 360 venue here, not just the 6 months and got to make it or break it. There's availability to do that. I'm sorry.
We do burn snowmen here.
Absolutely right. The thing is, we can't work against physics, and the derby pond now is 8 feet deep. So in the old days, it was only 3 or 4 feet deep, and there were like 3 derby ponds. And you got to skate on, you were playing hockey on one, skating on one, and you go out to the bumpy lake if you wanted to. So all that activity's great, especially developing that pier. I think that would be beautiful.
When you have that at the same time, that you would have a small ramp there, then for your winter, for ice fishing, for ice boaters,
Amen.
you would still have that place for them to come, please.
Yeah, when
Mr. Friedman.
you're talking about the restrooms, that could all be tied in with our new lighthouse that's gonna be going in.
Exactly.
You know, because,
Exactly.
now we're gonna have to start, as a city, we're gonna have to start worrying about tourists coming into that area to look at this lighthouse.
Darn.
They're gonna be.
Spend that money.
They're gonna be wanting, you know, to eat, they're gonna be wanting to do all this kind of stuff, but they gotta have handicap area, they gotta have a nice parking lot, you know, and all this could be tied in. So
Absolutely.
it sounds good, sounds
Yeah,
good.
so
Mr.
wanna
Freeman, go
paint
ahead.
You know what?
Now they're gonna wanna paint it.
Adding on to the ice skating, it would take nothing for an 8-inch trash pump to either pump that pond shallower, or it would also take nothing to lay out something and add some water onto it for it to freeze to create a makeshift ice rink.
They
There's a
shovel
lot
all
of
the
towns
time,
that
even
do
in
it.
Lake Marblehead, Lakeside and all that, so.
And then they didn't care for it. I remember a time that was done not that many years ago. It was when Debbie Tester was in office, and they invested quite a bit of money into a system to skate on, and then just never took care of it. So,
Yeah, but that's the way that the city's operated a lot of places. And that's what, and not council, but as far as, if we're gonna do something, the city has to also maintain it. So we got a skate park that when I moved in Portland was 2000, that place was the place to go. Everybody went there, or we went down to jams. Yeah, it was back and forth, music and skating, and that was everything that we did. And now when you can get a splinter foot wide in your arm if you tried to skate on that.
I think that was a private sector, built thing. I think Kiwanis was the one behind that. Rotary. Okay, so we got, many organizations, and, we just got to get more active.
Yes, we do.
You know, and after this meeting's over, because of the time constraints of our elected officials, we used to go right down to Frisch's and spend another 2 hours talking about what happened here. So, if somebody wanted to coordinate that, we'll do that every night.
The Rotary and the Kiwanis are about to build a $600,000 all-access play place in Lakeview Park, or in Lakeview Park.
That's a
So
great project.
It's
Mr.
not
Noter,
like
go ahead.
we have the Kiwanis and Rotary have been kind of sitting around.
Mr. Noter, go ahead.
Yeah, this is not to say, that Derby Pond is not a good, nothing like that at all. This is just an idea that I'm throwing out there that, but I would like to see ice skating closer to downtown. I would like to see possibly a temporary rink. And maybe, on the courthouse lawn, maybe on the school property, whatever, but that's closer to downtown, that's 2 blocks away. Or somewhere closer to downtown than Derby Pond. You drive the cars to Derby Pond and then, probably leave, get back in your car afterwards and leave. But if you park downtown, it might be more interesting.
Yeah, that's a great piece of property. We gotta do something with that, because I think that either city ought to do it or private sector.
Yeah,
2 or 3 inches of ice, that's it.
I had another question. Your first question was about the grant money and the matching grants. So are you talking only a $40,000 pool, or are you talking that's just the
No,
start?
That's just for
I'll take it. Go ahead. No, the funds are for planning construction of this.
Okay.
So boardwalk and transient docket on the track I just described, basically from the Blue Canopy to the start of the jetty.
So that money is just for the planning of it, not
Just
for
the planning, which is
anything.
basically a necessary step to secure grant monies for construction later down the line.
Okay.
So, Mr. Smith.
Yes, you said that right now what the concept is, that it'll run all the way from the Jet Express, all the way out to the end of the East Bear, right?
no.
Canopy.
The planning study, the scope of work, or the scope of the planning grant would be between basically the end of Jefferson Street today up
Okay.
to Jetty.
Okay.
For
I
that-
thought I seen
for that piece.
I thought I seen something that went all the way down to the Jet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was talked about at one time also.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
River
This is like a
walk.
later phase. This grant, the ODNR grant, we're
So now it's from Jefferson down.
Right.
Okay.
The riverfront,
And then,
basically.
how many
On Water Expired.
transit docking into the river?
Around 40.
Okay, has the Army Corps of Engineers ever said that can be done?
They've said a ramp can be done.
I don't know if the Army Corps of Engineers
They will.
has to speak on the number of docks. I know that ODNR supposedly has found not a problem with that when they reviewed the application or
Because there's an
discussions
awful
later.
lot of current problems, there's.
Yeah.
But not really that much different than anywhere else along the river.
Well,
Where Lakeland Motel is. Mr. Freeman, go
There
ahead.
slightly is a little bit difference there. You do have the jet going by that does create a pretty good wake. I'm an avid boater, and I don't like docking where they have the Portland docks now. I believe the Portland Police catamaran was sunk once at some point in time due to the wake.
No, that had nothing to do with weight.
Okay, I was misinformed on that, but I do know when I dock there, your boat is getting slammed on the dock the entire time. You've got to put out tons of balloons for it.
Is that any different than docking at Lakeland Motel or at the?
Yeah. It
yacht club?
surprisingly is.
It's a no wake zone, so if we enforce that.
You won't, you never will.
Mr. Philibon, go ahead.
Yeah,
They don't
now, if you
listen.
put your docks
As a
out there,
builder, they don't
now is
listen.
that gonna have an effect on the route of the river of people going out? Because on the west bank over there, there's a mud bank that comes out about 50 yards or 100 yards or so out there. The boats get over there. I know the Jet Express one time I was down there watching them and they was having trouble and they got over too far on that side and they got hung up in that mud bank. And it was a pretty good windy day and they finally got out, but it slammed it up against the steel piling right there at the yacht club.
Gary, I got a keel sailboat and I go by that west bank all the time and I'm 5.5 feet under my boat and I never
When the
had a
winds
problem.
out of the southwest like they have been here lately.
Never had a problem.
You can still see the mud bank comes out there.
I've seen it and I've never had a problem.
Thank you,
Doesn't
Mr.
go very
Schaefer.
far.
Thank you, Mr. Philibon. Go ahead.
I just kind of had something to add about like the construction or whatever of the boardwalk. Like, you guys are all concerned about like keeping the kids here and like making us like want to hang out here, but there's nothing for us to do here. Like honestly, like yeah, like all these are great ideas, but by the time you guys put them in, like the people, like the kids here, we're all juniors. So by the time that you guys finally get it put together, like none of us are gonna be here anymore really. And like I don't know, I just think that we should get like a building that like teens can just hang out. Like it's a teens
rec
only
center.
kind of hang out like every Friday, like football, like literally every Friday night you see all the teenagers in Port Clinton at the stadium. Like, but after football, like there really isn't anything that pulls us all back together to be.
What would something like that look like to you?
I don't know, like we had one, like I'm not.
And just real quick, the time is 8:30, so we'll have this be the last comment.
Okay, I'm not from here, like I moved here last year, but in my old hometown, we had like a place, it's called Teepee, and it was like they had like pool tables and they had just like, it was pretty much like a big dance party and like you could just go, you paid like $5 to get in or whatever. They had food, they had drinks, you pretty much, like you literally just went there and hung out and it kept kids off the streets, it kept kids safe pretty much, like they weren't out roaming the streets at 12 o'clock at night. They were at the place all together hanging out. And
Was it run by a church or an organization or anything
the
like
city
that?
kind of put it together because they didn't, like, we had a previous like problem with like drugs and stuff. So they wanted to keep kids off the streets, and so they created this place where we could all go, hang out, just be kids, honestly. Because like during the week, like we were packed with sports, we're packed with everything, but like on the weekend, we all go to Sandusky or Fremont or wherever to go do whatever we want to do. Like there's nothing here for us to do.
Right, and that's.
Go ahead.
The history, we've had, you said, Betty Mills tried that and had that for years, it was great.
There's a rec center at one, or
The rec center, exactly.
one time in-
But I think it all goes back to maybe what Mrs. Hickman was saying and this developer saying, the cost to do a lot of stuff, with insurance and copyrights and all that. I think if the city could help with, you know, a blanket insurance policy for some of these things, or private sector would have something to say, because it's very expensive to do the copyright, insurance, you know, kids aren't gonna want to pay for insurance and copyright stuff, so you bring your own uncopyrighted films and you put those on. You know, so you could do that. But insurance is gonna be a huge factor in anything you do.
Thank you, Mr. Rich. What was your name? Mackenzie, thanks for speaking, and you get to be the last speaker tonight, so thank you very much. Any comments?
I just appreciate everybody coming out and giving ideas and stuff. I think it's exciting to see the energy in the room, and just looking forward to moving forward and getting on the same page and making Portland better. I think it's important. Like, we need to heal as a city, and I think this is a good first start for that. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, you give yourself some hands, man, for just showing up, man. That's awesome.
I think